Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am very pleased to bring to you Jenny Harkelroad. And let me tell you about Jenny. So Jenny Harkelroad is a #1 best-selling author, speaker, and mind change expert. She's a mother of 4, which is her greatest claim to fame. I agree. Well, actually, grandmother actually ranks way up there too for me. Jenny is a big-hearted entrepreneur and business leader and built a business in San Diego over 13 years, producing double digits and millions. With the power of the mind, Jenny overcame her past of chronic pain, addictions, bad relationships, and unhappiness. She never knew how sweet life could be until she changed her mind, and that changed everything. Jenny has a dramatic story breaking her back on a mountain cliff. That event changed everything and gave her ferocious appetite to transform lives and help others create what's missing in their lives. We're going to talk about 17 seconds to wellness and success. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Jenny Harkelroad. Jenny, so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be
podcast.
here. Yeah, it's exciting.
So we always start out with 2 easy questions for the audience, and that is tell them what part of the world or country you live in, where you call home.
I am in sunny San Diego. It's so sunny right now that my eyes are watering a little because the glare coming in the window. It's beautiful out on this January 2nd.
Yes. Well, it is sunny in Atlanta as well.
Awesome.
Probably a little cooler,
Maybe
although
so.
it's actually around 55 or something like that. So we've had some warm weather,
Nice.
but
I love
cold
it.
is a-coming.
Yeah.
So I gave just some teasers about your background, but please share about the journey that really took you from that young woman to being who you are today, the paths and the pivots that you had to take to bring us to where we are today.
Absolutely. So I love to start on August 10th of 2013 because that was a very fateful day in my life. We were hiking and camping with friends, and we were coming back from a hike, and we got to this mountain ledge, and it was just my husband and I. We'd kind of gotten separated from the group. And he completely innocently said, if I was young and in shape, I'd jump off of here instead of climbing down. And what went through my mind is, I'm young and in shape, and I jumped. Like it was that fast. And I'm not a daredevil or anything like that. I don't know what I was thinking, but I think it was, God's plan to get me in line because nothing else was working. So I jump. When I land, I hear a crunch in my back and I can't move. And he's trying to get me up and it's not working. Our friends catch up. They're trying to get me up. It's not working. They go back to camp, get a chair. They think maybe they can carry me off. That's not working. And they end up calling 911. And 911 sends in a ground crew. They hike in. It takes them about 45 minutes to get to me. And when they get to me, they say, yeah, we can't move
Airlift
either. Yeah, they call Life Flight. And Life Flight comes, zip lines me up to a hovering helicopter. And the next thing I remember is waking up in the hospital and them saying, you broke your back. What? Like, what? This is literally what I said to them. Does that mean I can't go to Ashtanga yoga tonight? Because I have an appointment at 6 p.m. And they said, yeah, you're
Yeah.
not going anywhere. You're not moving for about 6 weeks. And I'm this go-getter personality. You know, you mentioned in my bio, I've got 4 kids, this successful real estate company. I was the president of the women's organization, my church. I was fundraising my community. Like 6 weeks sounded like a lifetime.
Forever.
How
Yeah.
could I possibly be lame for 6 weeks? I mean, I tell this sometimes. It's a true story. One day my husband's leaving for work and he says, "Don't sit on the couch. One of the kids spilled something on it, sticky." And I thought for a second, I don't think I've ever sat on our couch before. Like, why would you tell me not to sit? I don't sit. I'm a go, 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 go. Right? So, oh my gosh, 6 weeks. Well, here's the thing, Vicki. 6 weeks turned into 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know why? The reason is because I don't think I would have learned my lesson if it hadn't taken that long. I would have gotten better and I would have gone back to my life. And you might say, well, what's wrong with that? What was wrong with that is I was unhappy. I was in pain, chronic pain, even though this was before breaking my back.
Yeah.
Didn't like my husband much. Didn't really like the career that was so successful. Didn't really like myself. So I had all these things that weren't going well in my life, and I would have just gone right back into it. And the reason was because I didn't know how to fix those things. I said affirmations, I read books, I prayed, I listened to tapes, I went to seminars, like I did all the things I thought I should do. And when I couldn't fix my life, I would just ignore it and go make money because I was good at that.
Wow.
And I was busy. That's why I was so busy. Then I didn't have to think about how I was feeling physically,
Yeah.
emotionally. And so that's why I didn't get better, because I had to learn the true secret of how to get better, get everything better in my life, not just heal my back. But I didn't understand all that at the beginning. All I knew is I wanted to get better. And I did start getting my mobility back. But what happened is, as my mobility came back, the pain got worse and worse and worse.
Mm.
And I was seeing someone like every day, chiropractor, acupuncture, massage, physical
Wow.
therapy. Why am I getting worse? What's
Yeah.
happening? I thought surely something structurally still wrong. So 2 years after the surgery, I convinced surgeons to put rods, screws, and a synthetic disc in my back because I think that'll solve the problem. They do it. 7 months later, can't sit, can't
Still in
drive,
pain.
can't function, same pain, now just screwed together with metal. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was beside myself. And I kept asking people, what do you do for back pain? What do you do for anybody? It's funny. Sometimes on social media, someone will post something and people give their ideas and the person gets a little annoyed. Like, I didn't want all your input. I was the opposite. I was like, anybody, somebody, please, what can you do for burning back pain? And my massage therapist referred me to a chiropractor who referred me to the doctor who changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
That doctor's name is Dr. Warren Jacobs. He's a medical doctor. And he told me that I could heal myself with my mind. And I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he was a little crazy, but I was desperate. So I tried it. 6 sessions later, I'm healed. Like back bends and handstands healed. Like nothing ever happened to me.
Mm.
Blew my mind. And I went back to him and of course, like, I owe you my life. And can you help me get off these pain pills? Can you help me like my husband? Can you help me find a career I love? Can you help me get rid of my bad temper? Can you help me lose weight? I mean, I had like the Santa laundry list of everything. And he's like, of course, you can do
It's
anything with
all
the
in the
power of the
mind.
mind. And I
Mm-hmm.
became obsessed,
Yeah.
obsessed with the mind.
Wow. So that did not take 17 seconds.
No, it
So talk
didn't.
to us. What the heck is a 17-second rule? I think I've heard of it before, but please explain.
Yeah. So, I learned a lot of things, and hopefully we'll touch on a significant amount of them in this podcast. And, one of the main things that I learned was that my subconscious mind was running me. And
Yeah.
I didn't know about this. My subconscious was controlling how I was feeling and thinking and acting and reacting, which is why I just kept feeling like no matter what I do, here I am. No matter where I
Mm-hmm.
go, here I am. The same person, the same problems, the same issues. It
Yeah.
was subconscious, and I would consciously try to change it. Just like right now, it's January 2nd. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of New Year's resolutions. But what's going to happen by the end of this month and
They're
the end
not.
of next month? You know, they're going to fall off. Why? Because it's just a conscious mind desire. You
Hmm.
haven't become the person that is that way, that exercises every day, or that eats right, or that is kind and forgiving and loving, or whatever they want to be, whatever they want to do, whatever they want to achieve. And so the 17-second rule for me is to catch your thought. It's a story, it's a narration. It's not necessarily the truth. You might feel like it's the truth. You should
Yeah.
feel like it's the truth. It's the lens through which you see the world. But if you can catch it within 17 seconds before it becomes your reality, that's when you have the option to change things.
Hmm.
So 17 seconds is just catch the thinking. That's it. Like the story I'm telling, is that what I want? Is that the printout I want? Is that the narration I want? Is that the life that I want? Because what happens is after 17 seconds, it becomes a chemical reaction within your body. So you start to feel that way. So now
Hmm.
you're thinking it and then you're feeling it. Well, as soon as you feel it, it attracts like thoughts to prove to you why what you're thinking and feeling is true. We call this a feedback loop, right?
Yeah.
So now you know it's true. You're thinking it, you're feeling it, you have all this evidence to back it up. When that goes on for just more than 68 seconds, it changes your energy field. Now, we used to think energy was a little woo-woo, but now we know it's science. You can measure
Yeah.
energy field
Yeah.
with scientific machines. It changes your energy field, which is like a magnet, right? Like a magnet goes together this way, but when you flip it over, it repels,
Yeah.
right? And you're like, how come I can't get it together? Well, flip it. Oh, that was so easy, right? So you're thinking something and it's becoming this printout of your life. And so 17 seconds is like, just catch it. You can't change something if you're not aware of it. So
Mm-hmm.
in my head, I was always thinking these thoughts that didn't take me down the right path. It was
Right.
flipping the magnet the wrong way. And then I get so mad. How come the magnet won't come together? How come the goal won't happen? How come I can't feel or be or act or, achieve a different way? It's
Mm-hmm.
because it started right here.
Right. Oh my goodness. So you talk about three minds.
Yeah.
Explain to the audience about the three minds.
Yeah, I touched on it just a little, but
Hmm.
conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. So, conscious is here's our New Year's resolutions. Here's what we want to achieve. Here's what we want different in our life. Subconscious mind is our automated mind, our programmed mind. Your life is a printout of your subconscious program because it runs you, according to scientists, about 95% of the time. I'll give you a little example. My husband lost something recently that was very valuable, and he was very concerned that he lost it. He always kept it in a certain spot, but he said he'd moved it to a new spot and it wasn't in the new spot. So we were all looking for it, and he was beside himself for like a week, couldn't find it anywhere. Then guess what happened? He found it in the old place where he used to keep it. None of us looked there because he said he moved it somewhere else, right? And why did he put it back in the old place? It was a subconscious program. Even though he
Hmm.
consciously thought he left it somewhere else, his mind knows this is where it goes. And he went
Right.
back to it, right? And so we have these things and we're not even consciously aware of them. It's like the road is closed and you turn the wrong way, and then you're like, oh, shoot, I remember now I get here and I have to turn around and go back the other
Yeah.
way. I mean, this happened to me just recently here by my house, and I just kept going, how come I keep turning the wrong way? Because I'm not conscious. I don't get to the end of the street and think, I wonder if I turn, if I can get through. No, my subconscious knows this is how you always go. So I can think about something else until I get to the dead end. And I'm like, now I
I should know
remember.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the subconscious, it controls us so often, 95% of the time. And then our superconscious is like our connection to God or spirit or something higher, our inner knowing, our soul. Like when I was selling real estate, I was so good at it and I was so successful at it, but I felt like I was doing the wrong thing. And
Mm.
it was really hard not to do it because I was so successful at it. And after a while, I became known for it. And then I had all these homes and all these cars and all this travel and all these things. And I felt like I was stuck in it because what am I going to do? Walk away from all this? Right?
Yeah.
But the pain that I was feeling in my body later turns out what we discovered was actually tension. Tension in my
Mm.
body, coming from tension in my mind, coming from tension in my life. It
Yeah.
wasn't because I broke my back that my back was hurting. Maybe originally, but not 3 years later. The body heals. I even had surgery. They fixed it, right? So
Mm.
why is it still hurting? Well, what I would
It's
notice
like,
is as I
oh.
would start walking toward my real estate desk, all of a sudden the flame in my back would turn up.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Okay. So my
Oh.
body is telling me, stop doing this. You don't, this isn't your thing. And I would tell
Mm.
my body, I don't care. Look at your checking account. Right? Too bad for you that it's not your thing. You're gonna keep doing it,
This is what we
right?
do.
Yeah. So
Uh,
those three minds, if you can get those minds in alignment, just feels like floating in warm water. I mean, it just feels like relief. Because consciously you want something, then you can get your subconscious in alignment with it with the work that I teach. And hopefully, before you even get there, you check in with, like, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing on this earth? What brings me joy? And go in that direction.
and I would think that the trauma that you and all of us have had, I think it's rare to find anyone that hasn't had some sort of
Yeah.
trauma in our lives. And I think we mislabel trauma oftentimes where we think, well, I haven't run out of a burning building or had a car wreck or anything like that. But is that more your subconscious that is really calling upon those things to have you fight or flight type of reaction to things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your subconscious is programmed when you're young, really,
Hmm.
when you're in your mother's womb, third trimester till about 7, 8 years old, scientists say your brain is in a theta state, which takes in everything as your program. So you could
Mm.
literally have a parent dismiss something you say, and that can be so traumatic in the subconscious mind, where you think that what you have to say doesn't matter, and you carry that with you the rest of your life. And then when someone doesn't make a big deal about what you say, your feelings get hurt. And they're like, what is going on? What?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like this old wound. They put a little salt on it, and you're so hurt. And they're like, that wasn't really a big deal what I said. And you're like, no, it was. Right? It's like, how do we even get
Mm.
along with all these things we bring
Yeah.
with us? It's pretty crazy. I mean, I
So,
experienced this a ton because I grew up with a mom who was very um, I would say demanding. And I am very independent, want to do things my own way. And so
sounds
when
like
I
me.
was 2, I asked her if I could move out because she thought she was the boss of me and I didn't like it. And she said,
So-
you're not even potty trained. And I'm like, pack diapers. I don't care. Like, I'm getting out of here. I will change myself.
So funny. And also, I would think too. You mentioned early that you and your husband were not in the best place, and so I would think that you were probably recalling all those nasty things that you might have said to one another, and how do you get past that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And my sweet husband, the poor guy, I apologize to him so much, less now than I used to. But what happened was, as I was doing this work, I I wanted to say I started to realize, but that's not the truth at all. Here's what happened. I started working on my self-esteem subconsciously. As soon as my self-esteem changed, as soon as I got rid of those past traumas, all of a sudden, everything was fine with him again. He never really said anything mean to me. What would happen is I would say, hey, hon, can you take out the trash? And he would say, yes. And then the next day, I'd see the trash man, I'd look out the window and he hadn't taken out the trash.
I
And I'd
know
be
that
like,
feeling.
Hun, you said you were going to take out the trash. She's like, I forgot. I'm like, they're overflowing. We have 4 kids and all their friends, and we just had a party. Like, I mean, if you weren't going to do it, just say, can you do it? I can't. I mean, it was these kind of things. So it wasn't
Mm.
like he was mean or anything like that. It was just that everything he did or didn't do that I wanted, and these expectations, it
Yeah.
would hurt me personally because I had this past trauma that I wasn't good enough, all these things. And so it was like, again, salt in the wound. As soon as I healed the
Mm.
wound, you put salt on it, it falls to the floor. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And I would go like, you know what? Yeah, he forgot to take out the trash. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot worse things in the world.
So, what is muscle testing?
Muscle testing is the
Hmm.
secret sauce. I can't imagine being a coach without muscle testing. Muscle testing is a way that your body can give answers. So it's like a
Mm.
lie detector test, basically. It's like your body knows the truth, but you consciously have a story. So if I was a therapist and you came to me, you'd be telling me your story and I'd be listening, like nothing down on psychologists or therapists or anything like that. But I'm assuming, I'm not one of them, I'm assuming they kind of believe what the person is telling them. Well, when somebody comes to me, I can muscle test and see what they're saying, if it's just a story,
Yeah.
their narration, or if it's actually what's going on in the subconscious. A
Mm.
lot of times it's just a story, and they're like, here's why I feel so bad. And I'll be like, that's a really sad story, and that's actually not why you feel so bad. And they look at me like, what? Yeah, because with a muscle test, you can figure out what's really going on and get
Mm.
to the root of things and change it and fix it. So I grew up with a dad who's a chiropractor, and a lot of chiropractors use muscle testing as a way to figure out where the body is out of alignment. So what my dad would do, he'd have his patient hold out their arm parallel to the floor, and then he would push down on their arm. And if something in their body was out of alignment, he'd be touching their spine with one hand. They couldn't hold up their arm. And then he would go, oh, there's the spot I need to work on. He would adjust it, and then he would touch it. All of a sudden, they could hold up their arm. And so at first, when he was a new chiropractor, he had an x-ray machine and he would look for what's out of alignment. Pretty
Mm.
soon he'd just say, give me your arm. He threw a sheet over that x-ray machine, didn't use it anymore. Their arm would tell him. Now, in working with the doctor that I worked with, Dr. Warren Jacobs, MD, he said, why is your back hurting? And I said, well, duh, because I broke it. He said, give me your arm. He pressed on my arm went down. He said, no, nice story. That's not why your back is hurting. What?
Yes.
How could it not be? I mean, look at my medical file, right? Look at what I brought you.
Yeah.
How could it not be? I broke my back. I'm held together with metal now. Like, how could it not be? Well, maybe it's something else. Hold out your arm. And so muscle testing is a way to get to the bottom of things because it's kind of
Mm.
hard to fix your back if you think something's wrong with it and the doctors are saying we fixed it. Well, it
Mm.
still hurts. Well, we don't know. It doesn't look bad in the x-rays and MRIs, and
Yeah.
here's
Right.
more pain pills, right? What's really going on? Now, chronic
Mm.
pain, it's an epidemic in the world. More money is spent on chronic pain than cancer, heart disease, and diabetes
Yeah.
combined. Why are we hurting? I'll tell you right now, we're hurting from tension in our mind,
Yeah.
which causes tension in our body. You know,
That is
I
true.
started getting a headache. This happened yesterday. It was New Year's Day. And I'm cleaning the house. We had company, the kids, all the things, cleaning, putting away Christmas. My husband's like, see, I'm going for a bike ride. And all of a sudden I start getting a headache. And I'm like, why am I
Mm.
getting a headache? Because I want him here helping me.
Yeah.
But I didn't say that. I didn't
Mm.
ask. I was trying to be a nice wife, like have fun on your bike ride with his new electric bike that he got for Christmas, right? So if I didn't know this work, I would think I'm getting a headache, I need some Tylenol, or maybe I'm starting to get sick, but I know
Yeah.
this work and I know that tension in the mind causes tension in the body, and it was subconscious. I didn't even
Hmm.
realize it. You know,
Yeah.
it makes sense to when I think about it. Sure, I would have liked him to offer to help or help me.
Exactly.
Sure, I would have. But it didn't come to mind when he said it. I was like, yeah, sure, go ride your new bike. That's what it's for. It's New Year's Day. You have the day off. Like, go enjoy. But then my head started hurting, right?
Mm,
Subconscious, I was suppressing that emotion and it started coming up in my head.
yeah.
So look at your life. It's fascinating. And different personalities are more prone to it. The go-getter, do-gooder, perfectionist personality, we call it the P type instead of the A type, right? Perfectionist type, prone to tension in the body. So next time you wake up with a crook in your neck, you want to say, I slept funny, but what's really going on?
Yeah.
What's bothering you subconsciously that you're not allowing to come to consciousness?
So that kind of leads me to how often should we be working on our brains, on our mind to make sure that we keep that at bay, that
Yeah, that's a
or
great
we
question.
recognize it in that 17 seconds.
Yeah. Psychologists say we have 50,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, that 80% of them are negative and that 90% of them are a repeat of yesterday. Which
Mm.
is why today it feels like yesterday and the week before and the month before and the year before, right? We're in the same thought
Same
processes.
loop.
You've heard you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Why? Because we think what we think and we believe what we believe,
Yes,
right? And
absolutely.
someone can try to change your mind, but probably they won't because
Mm.
this is what we
That's right.
think, you know? And so for me, I like to be fit. I like to exercise. How often do I exercise? Every single day. Not hard. I go for a walk. I do some push-ups, like little things. Once a week, I go to the gym and lift weights. It's not a big deal, but I do it every single day. Why? Because I want to be healthy. I want to be fit. I want to
Right.
like how I look, you know?
Mm.
And my mind, it's so important to work on my mind. And so I work on my mind every day. So
Mm.
for me, what I do is I try to catch the thought, but if I get a feeling before I catch the thought, then I know, oh, why am I feeling a certain way? For example, Sunday,
Mm.
sitting in church, I start feeling like I want to cry. Now, I am not a crier at all. So why do I feel like I'm going to cry? So I start asking myself, what could have happened? Or what are you thinking about? Or what are you like,
What did they
what is it?
say? Hmm.
And I thought, well, you know what? Before I came to church, what did I do? I hugged my dad. He was leaving. And my dad
Um,
has been having crazy health problems for the past few years. And
mm.
I never know if I'm going to see him again
Oh, yeah.
because he's always back in the ICU. And so I go, oh, that's why I feel like I
Yeah.
want to cry. Because I hugged my dad, maybe for the last time. Who knows? But I asked myself, well, do you want to think that? Because maybe he's going to live another 20 years. You don't know,
Mm.
you know? So, how would I rather feel? This is the golden question that I teach people to ask. How would you rather feel? Well, I'd rather feel like I'm going to see him again soon. Well, what are we going to do when we see each other soon? Oh, we might, come up. I start thinking things. All of a sudden, I don't feel like crying at all. I feel
Mm.
like it's going to be so much fun next time I see dad. What's wrong with thinking that instead
Yeah.
of worrying that I'll never see him again?
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know? And so catch the thought or catch the feeling if you don't get to it. And then how would you rather feel?
Yeah.
Now, our family is sailors. We sail all the time. Our daughter literally flew in a couple weeks ago, a week ago, I'm losing track of time, just to go sailing with us and then flew back out. Like, we love to sail. What do you do when you're sailing with the sails? You're constantly adjusting them to
Just,
get the maximum thrust forward, constantly. And so I do that with my life, not in an obsessive way, but just as I'm going through my day, if I don't like how I'm feeling or thinking, and a lot of times, again, it gets to that feeling and you're like, darn, I missed the thought. Or
hmm.
it's subconscious and it's not even coming to consciousness. It's like your system is like, oh no, we're not even going to go there. We're going to repress that. So, how am I feeling and how would I rather feel?
Yeah. Making those adjustments all the
Yeah,
days,
course
every day.
corrections. Yeah.
Hmm. So, as you were talking about that, I thought, how often we self sabotage that, we hear it, but we're not adjusting. We just like going with it, letting
Right.
it take over.
Yeah.
So whenever you do make that adjustment, how fast do you start to feel better?
Yeah. Well, when I was sitting in church, I mean, it was instant, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I started thinking, what am I going to do with dad next time I see him? Immediately I feel better, right? It's that
It's
fast.
I would almost think that if somebody was like videoing you, you would see that smile come into your face as you
Right.
start
Right.
to realize, oh my God, I'm going to just do so many fun things. My dad,
Yeah.
we just celebrated over the Christmas holiday his 90th birthday. And
Oh,
and as you said, that last hug that I gave him as we were
yeah.
leaving to come back home was was a very tight one and
Yeah.
brought tears, but
Yes.
then just today I was thinking, well, what are we going to do for his 91st birthday?
Yeah,
To
exactly.
top what we did for the 90th.
Yes. Yeah. So powerful.
So you have an app. So
I
why don't you talk to us a little bit about the app before we close out today?
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is figure out a way to make this process easy for people. Most people don't know how to repattern their subconscious mind, right? And a lot of times saying affirmations and trying to catch the thought and trying to do this work on your own is a little tricky when you don't quite understand how it works, how the brain works, the neuroscience and all that. And of course, you can hire me as your private coach, but you got to spend some money, and not everybody has money to spend or wants to spend on a private coach. So I came up with an app that's almost as good as private coaching with me. And what it does is when you log in, it's neuroscience based, it's AI based, it's interactive, it's gamified, it's super fun. I recommend people use it every morning to start off their day. Takes about 15-ish minutes depending on which path you end up on the app, but it asks you, what is your goal for the day? Are you trying to solve a problem? Are you trying to achieve a goal? Are you trying to feel better? Are you wanting to work on personal growth? And then based on that, it'll take what you said and it'll put it into a goal statement. And then it'll do a brain exercise with you to pattern that goal into your subconscious mind to make it a new automatic in your life. After that process, it says, okay, now that you're believing this subconsciously, what action can you take to achieve it? What can you do right now? And maybe you say, I want to get in shape. And it's like, okay, what do you want to do right now? I don't know, 10 push-ups, 10 jumping jacks, something toward my goal, right? And what it does is it changes your subconscious automatic, and as you do this every day, all of a sudden you start to notice things are just shifting automatically. It's like planting a seed in the garden. All of a sudden it
Hmm.
starts to grow and it starts to bear fruit. And then it's just like, I planted these 4 tomato plants in my garden I planted kind of late summer. I don't know what happened this year, but I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of tomatoes. Just yesterday, we were making another vat of pasta sauce. I mean, and that's what happens with the subconscious mind. As you keep reprogramming it, all of a sudden things in your life start to shift. And the cool thing is, I say your brain's like a plate of spaghetti. You don't know which noodle is touching the other. Like all of a sudden, you worked on something and you're like, this is weird. Like, I was working on my relationship, but all of a sudden I'm starting to lose weight. This is interesting. It's like it's all connected. And the
Yeah.
more you work on the mind, the subconscious mind,
Yeah.
remember, it's a million times more powerful. So the more
Mm.
you work on that mind, all of a sudden your life starts to become what you want it to be. So instead of, trying, you're
Yeah.
just being.
Well, time has flown by. You have 3 books. Can you just highlight what those 3 books? I'll make sure that we put these in the show slide before we post it. But tell everybody what books you have in case they want to find out more information that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got them right here. I'll show you
Awesome.
real quick. So the first one, I wrote this one while stuck in bed with my broken back. It's my fattest book. It's got the most pages. It's called 101 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Fed My Children. So one of the things I was concerned about being stuck in bed was all this exercise I'd been doing and all this calorie counting I've been doing was going to go to waste because I couldn't even move. And so I started studying, diet, and what's the healthiest and what's the best. And for me, I believe in a whole food, plant-based diet. And that's what the book is all about. So if you're a fan of plant-based eating, you're going to love this book, and also the things it teaches you about what to feed your kids. Don't go to McDonald's drive-through like I used to, things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The next one is my story, breaking to be me. So breaking my back.
Yeah.
Really, that's what it took, breaking my back to
Mm.
understand myself and to get on the right path and trajectory in my life. And then the last one, Your Amazing Itty Bitty Magic Mind Book. And so this one has just like cliff notes of the secrets to changing your mind and changing your
Awesome.
brain, and a brain exercise so you can do the work for yourself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So again, we'll have all of the JPEGs of those in the show slides for you, but time now for me to share my screen as I always do. If you have been just listening and you think, oh, well, Vicki, I didn't get to see what she had. I didn't get the names down. Again, everything will be in my show notes. So you can go to Vicki Noethling on YouTube and subscribe, please, as well as my findyourleadershipconfidence.com. The website for those listening is balanceu.com. I'm sorry, .org. So that's balanced, ED, balancedU.org. Facebook is her name, Jenny Harkelroad, and that's JennyHarkelroad, Jenny Harkelroad. LinkedIn is again Balanced You. Instagram is again her name, and YouTube is at Balanced You with initial cap there. So the symbol at Balanced You for YouTube. I'm going to turn it over to Jenny. She's going to talk to you about her call to action, as well as things that you might find that will be helpful on her website, as where she spends the most time in social media. So if you wanted to DM her, you most likely would get a response timely. So back to you, Jenny.
Awesome. So my call to action is to take action. That 17-second rule, to pay attention to what is going on in your mind and ask yourself if you like the story, if you want that reality. And if you don't, if you'd like to change it, I highly recommend you try my app. It's called Leap Transformation, Leap like a frog. You can get it in the App Store or the Play Store. It's a 1-week free trial, so you can test it out. Our last over 500 clients report that they receive a 41% improvement in their goal with one app use within 1 week. So you can expect that much change that fast. And if you want more change than that, use it more than once. So Leap Transformation is the app. And again, what do you want different in your life? That's the first question. And then put it into the app and turn it into your reality. I can't wait I know you'll do it. I know you will. It's the power of the subconscious mind. You can't lose when you put that power to work for you.
Awesome. Jenny, it's been just such a wonderful conversation we had. You shared wonderful information for the audience. And, I often have people that talk about the power of the mind, but it's just a subject that I think needs to just be widespread to people to understand how you can stop taking those pills and things and just check your mind out, do the work, work those muscles in your mind as hard as you work them on your abs, right?
Yes. Amen.
So thanks so much for being a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
As always, I remind everyone that life is a journey and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.